Hey everyone, Tony Chips here from Chiappetta Shoes. This is Workshop Live, and today we are working with a gentleman that has a foot amputation. That's his right foot right there. We need to work on fitting his foot with a filler. Today we're going to talk about custom orthotics, diabetics, amputations, and how to make an orthotic that creates a filler situation for the inside of the shoe. What this is there to do is to take up the space from wherever the foot is amputated to create a more even weight distribution from heel strike through toe off. The orthotic is there to help hold the foot in place, reduce friction and pressure where the ball of the foot or whatever is left is, and just make the foot feel comfortable. Typically with a custom orthotic and amputations, what we're trying to accomplish is protecting the damaged tissue area first and foremost. A lot of times when you're dealing with any kind of amputations, it takes a long time for the body, if it's ever going to recover, to fully heal up and be totally reduced from potential future irritations. So we're looking to reduce friction and pressure in the ball of the foot. The second part that we're looking to do is help weight distribution and balance. Now, your big toe is a lever. It's there for propulsion. Outside four toes are they're scrunchers. They're for balance. So if we're losing all those, the body's going to compensate. Oftentimes, right foot on this one, it's going to be abducted a lot, and you're going to take that short step. So we want to get shoes and inserts and tools for this customer to take a more fuller step as much as possible. That's going to help with balance. When we're talking about balance, our cadence, distribution of weight, and the length between each step is really important. The shorter of a step we take, the more it's easier to trip and fall because we're kind of hobbling and we tend to lean forward too much. So if we can improve gait by allowing a more fuller stride, it's going to improve the balance significantly. So this customer recently had a revision amputation that we had a custom orthotic. We're going to take it to the top down here. We had a custom orthotic, and this was working for about 2 years. There was a problem with, I believe, what was left of the first cuneiform, and he had a revision surgery. It wasn't anything drastic, but enough for us to do a remold on his right foot right here. So we have the original set. On the right side, we redid the mold, and then on the left side, we set him up with one new orthotic. So on this set here, we have an old insert that we're going to still use because the left side was still good. Now, talking about fitting amputations and the fillers. How you leave this is really important, and it looks kind of goofy. This is what we had before. When you talk about fitting a filler, there's a few fine points to making this work right. So this is what it comes out of the vacuum formers, and this is what it ends up like. With this, we have a few variables. Length is obviously one. Width is obviously one. So it's got to sit inside of the shoe properly. But the depth is also a very important factor. If this filler pad takes up too much space inside of the shoe, and it's just kind of like maxed out inside of the shoe, where this is the boot he's currently wearing. If you take up too much space, it's going to act as the shoe and not an independent piece. When we deal with fillers, talking about reducing friction and pressure, what we want to achieve is an insert that actually floats on the inside of the shoe. And we use the term float because we don't want to take up too much length. If it's butting up against the end of the shoe, then that can create friction and pressure here. We want this to float with the foot as opposed to snug on the inside of the shoe. So we have length, we have width. Now we also have depth, top to bottom, how we finish this insert. And when you talk about fitting inserts, and grinding and the manufacturing process. I've got 3 apprentices in the shop here. The biggest thing that I try to hammer home about is you want to visualize what you're trying to accomplish. You want to know what you want to come out with out of the gate. And when you're grinding, that's kind of just, that's what you got to do. So when we're making products like these, we're replacing some joints, we're replacing some bony areas with an orthosis. The biggest thing that I like to teach people is, visualize this as a foot and how this would fit inside of a shoe. And that's essentially what you're trying to create. So this is a good informational video on what we're working with. Now, I'm in the lucky situation where we've made a filler for this gentleman before. And I'm just drawing some of my lines here. All right, perfect. So we have 2 new righties. With these, we're going to take you over to the grinding machine. We're going to do some finishing work. This will take about 10 minutes. It's going to be a lot of grinding. I'm going to talk in between. I'm going to try to work with this side camera here. So keep in touch, watch. All right. Now the first step that we're going to take is I'm going to work off the top angle first, okay? So we got these lines we drew. We got to match the shape of a foot. Imagine what that's like, okay? Now, my guy Chuck over at Waxbirds in Niles, Illinois, taught me this, where you taper the edges first and then you blend it in. And that's a nice little finishing technique that's really successful whenever you're doing rocker bottoms or any kind of tapering where you need to do some kind of angled edge. So we got edges tapered, now we're gonna graduate it up. All right, so we're halfway there. We got it tapered down real nicely. We're still gonna have to bring in the edges. One fine note is always make sure you have your base width right where the ball of the foot is, or anywhere the amputation. You don't wanna leave it too thick because it can taper up too much against the side. You can pinch a little bit. So you gotta make sure it's nice and thin, cupped, but not too thick. So that's there. All right, now, this gentleman actually wears a medium width, extra depth, but medium width. Perfect. All right, take over the grinder. Oh, hey, Joe. All right. So let's take a look here. Top down. Got the orthotic. Should be good. Now you always, it's kind of hit or miss. A lot of this is all touch and feel, so getting it the right shape. Edges should be good. Old and new, looking pretty good. I left it a little wider here. You know, we still want to try to take up as much space as possible, but let's just see. That depth factor is always the tricky part. You don't want to take off too much, but okay. Now, with this, it sits in there nicely, it fits in there nicely, but like I said, we don't want to take up too much space. And always pinch the top. You got a little wiggle room right here. That's pretty good. You want a little bit of space. We got a little bit of full through here, and we are, I think it's just, length is good. Width is a little bit tight. So we got to get right about there. Okay. A little bit more fine tuning, and then we got this, the second one I'll do off camera. So, with this, again, amputation, right foot amputation, left foot's fine. We're in there good. We had a revision on the amputated foot, which did change the mechanics a bit. So we've got a new mold we're working with. Right there. Okay. New mold we're working with. Getting them set up. Gonna get these cleaned up and we'll get them rolling. So, all right, 2 more seconds. Take you back to the grinder. Okay. Beautiful, baby. Right, Manny? Woo! All right. Tapered up a little bit more on the edges. Let's try this out. Give it a shot. Now we want it to be snug, but it should slide in. Oh, yeah. Like a glove, Manny. Let's go, baby. Beautiful. A little bit of space, a little bit of depth. Nice and nice. Beautiful. All right. So we're going to chuck out the old righty with the amputation. We are going to clean these boots up real nicely. And I'm going to get this guy going on his way. I've got the second right that we're going to do as well. We'll do that off camera. I'll save you guys time. The main point of this is when you're doing a filler orthotic for an amputation, key with making these work and fit properly is not leaving it too full inside of the shoe. So giving enough space where the shoe is the exterior unit and the insert and the foot work together nicely. We want the insert with the amputation to have a little bit of a floating ability so it sits inside of the shoe properly without too much friction. The key with an orthotic for an amputation is reducing friction and pressure. I think we got it done right here. This has been a workshop live. It's a lovely Monday. Monday, Joe? Monday. Joe said it's Monday. It's been a lovely Monday, May 6th. We have Mother's Day promotion going on now through Mother's Day. Lots of goodies in here in the shop. And make sure you check us out. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Subscribe. What else, Joe? Love you, bye.